Oh. Hey, Maeve. Noticing your gaze, Maeve turns to you. My celestial lord. She hesitates before continuing. They say you are the God Emperor's anointed. Have you truly seen him? Alas, no. Our God Emperor resides on Holy Terra, many light centuries from here. To behold him is a privilege denied to all but few. Let's out the forlorn sight. I wish I could see him, but I am sure his splendor is so dazzlingly bright that one glance upon his visage is enough to blind a person on the spot. Oh, pardon me, you probably wanted to ask me something, didn't you? Like, what are you doing on the roofs? Solomon casts a quick glance around, as if looking for someone, and then nods at you confidently. Who do you find living at the governor's court? I dare not complain, my celestial lord. Lesser nobles such as myself sometimes receive punishment for angering our lords, but that is good in a way. I think it makes me cleaner and brighter on the inside and helps me to better serve the God Emperor, the holder of the key to all destinies. The holder of the key. Maeve makes a sign of the Aquila and turns a reverent gaze upon you. You call the Emperor the holder of the key. Why? Forgive me if I said something wrong, my lord. Preacher Antiochus said that the God Emperor holds the key to all destinies in his celestial hand. He himself sits at the very top of the great tower of humankind. From there, gazing out over the worlds and stars of his domain, he sees all, knows all, and a bloody tear rolls down his cheek when he reads our shameful thoughts and deeds in the annals of our lives. But those who strive, who do not let the seed of evil into their hearts, he will reward with new destiny, a new life, higher and better than the one before. With the turn of his key, he unlocks the dungeon of their souls. I live in hope that one day he will come to my door. Maeve's smiles is one of sad resignation. How fascinating, and what are you doing to get a better destiny? I can hope, pray earnestly, try to be virtuous and diligent, and if I manage to please the Celestial Lord, then maybe, just maybe, the Emperor will take notice. Failed? Indeed, the saying holds, as many the worlds, so many the paths of faith in the God Emperor. Thus, it is no surprise that Thessalian doctrine is cast in an almost poetic form. Argenta shakes her head, serving the Emperor merely to earn a better fate. What a pitiful foundation for faith on Tessera. Missionaries must be sent here to set this world upon the true path while there is still time, like burning everything down. This would probably happen. Why did God Emperor lock people in the dungeon? In the time of darkness, the God Emperor walled up the Tower of Humankind against fiends and monsters to keep it safe from evil. Yeah, by atom bombing every fucking single person on Earth. But evil had already planted its seeds in thousands upon thousands of human souls. He locked them in the dungeon of the tower so that they might first eradicate the evil in their thoughts. All our lives we atone for our transgression against the God Emperor, and after death we return to his judgment. But that is our burden to bear, my lord. When I see you and realize that before me stands his anointed one blessed by his godly hand, there is no one happier than I. What do you think of the governor? Oh, he's a wonderful person, so considerate and generous, but of course his venerable age has taken its toll. He behaves oddly from time to time, but we all have our quirks, don't we? He behaves oddly? How so? Well, he gave me a lovely Desertium necklace just before you arrived. Strange, is it not, to bestow such a treasure on someone who of the lower nobility? And I also noticed that we have been conversing more of late, and it's been easier. Sometimes I think he knows me better than I know myself. So the governor has never favored you like this before. Perhaps the appointment to escort the rogue trader also came as a surprise. Maeve blinks in astonishment. That is so, my lord Judicator. I still wonder why the God Emperor saw fit to bestow such a tremendous honor upon me. Tell me about Bluff, the fool. How did he win the governor's favor? He is the best among all the court servants. Maeve looks down. But you catch the fear in her eyes. He always knew how to make the noble lords laugh, but at first Dane's jokes were just funny pranks and puns. Those were wonderful, almost impossible times. Something happened and Dane changed, did he not? This is his name, yes? Yes, he seemed to retreat into himself all of a sudden, and he started snapping back at people, saying sarcastic, sketching things. His jokes were simple before, but now there is always a nasty bite to them, and he started exploding at every little thing and ordering me about my own brother. Having said all this, she freezes in fear, turning white as a sheet. Apologies for my lack of restraint. For a brief moment, a deep wrinkle cuts across Solomon's forehead. So your brother is not his usual self. This world is a tangled web indeed. Since you are here, show me how the Tessarians entertain their nobles. Let's continue our walk. Okay, I don't know something. Look straight through her. My lord? Oh! Catches herself and goes quiet. It's not this one. Oh! So she's with me. Okay. Judging by the deep scratches, there used to be makeshift breach. Oh. Doubt that this piece of iron is sturdy enough. Rusted sheet of iron could easily reach the other side of the roof. So she's walking with me. Oh. Make a breach.
Impossible for this old officer.
Nice.
Assignment completed.
Oh. Oh. Assault armor. Whoever the wearer starts their turn with no enemies in a free cell radius, they gain 4 MP and do not provoke attacks of opportunity. 10 armor if the wearer starts their turn with at least one enemy within resale radius. That's cool.
The songs of my ancestors speak of stars long forgotten and worlds long gone. What a shame that you lack the capacity to understand even a single note.
Let's seize the opportunity. Experience.
Thank you.
Nothing matters more.
Well... No, I won't reload. I don't need this. But probably I will need it, but I don't need it. Really.
Explored.
Sharp eye? Oh. More goods. I should have saved the game.
Failure stings.
Oh,
I
thank you.
did it.
Armor of Iron Will. Blocks on attack. All adjacent creatures must pass toughness resistant test or suffer 1 stack of perplexed. Good armor. A good armor. 15%, 15%. It was a good armor, indeed.
A bitter taste of defeat.
So it was defeat, but still is working. Okay.
Failure stings.
I've read about this.
You read about what? You read about the ashes?
The world trembles beneath my feet.
What the hell is my neighbor doing?
Embrace true power.
Oh my god. Okay, it triggered it. Well. Can I reload? Shoot. Tadua the Scorched Head. Scorched. Oh. You see a man with a cruel grimace on his face and hands disfigured with burn marks. Behind him stands a ghastly-looking mechanism adorned with a polished skull of gigantic proportions. The eye sockets, their edges melted, gaze darkly at the crowd with the promise of inevitable punishment. The man, clearly the executioner, bows his head. The very messengers of the sky have come to decide our fate. We are honored, your celestial highness. Who are you? I am Tadua the Scorched, a slaughterman of the 5th generation and a humble disciple of the Iron Saint you see before you, your celestial highness. Master Tadua knows no mercy and his hand is unfailingly firm in the sacred cause of administering justice. Maeve is careful to keep her posture straight, but her frightened gaze is deliberately averted from both the executioner and the mechanism behind him. What is the structure? This instrument of punishment is a personification of the great Phasmophorius the Martyred, who accomplished the legendary feat of slaying 300 heretics. As in glorious tradition, all mutants who affront the Emperor's gaze and stain the face of Tessera must enter the Saint's iron embrace. Whenever justice is served, hundreds flock of the Phasmophorius, eager to witness the magnificent spectacle. You have just confessed that your semblance of justice serves not as a demonstration of lawful authority and deterrence to your subjects, but as entertainment. Solomon utters the last word with disgust, as if there could be no fuller profanity. Who is in sight right now? Another heretic who violated the holy laws of Tessera, and since his body is already turning to ash, such will be the fate of him, of his name as well, to be scattered to the winds. That is, may never again defile the lips of any who live upon our sacred world. Never again defile the lips. Maeve looks ready to faint. She seems both terrified and nauseated by this sacred rite that has drawn so many onlookers. The law of the Imperium punishes those who deserve it. Was that the last of the accused for the day? I hope that concludes the incendiary authorities for today. Atrocities. And why? This should be iconoclast, this should be heretical, and this should be dogma. Why there is nothing like this in this stuff? No, there will be heretic like, oh, throw those people, because I don't like them. That was but one of the first bodies set to stoke the Phasmophorius. It is going to get a lot busier now. As if to confirm the man's words, the fire-breathing saint expels a puff of acrid smoke. While the guilty are being reduced to ashes, let us meet the next participants in our performance. Yes. Oh. Two people or something resembling people are pushed onto the stage. They are mutants, hideous parodies of humanity, forever tainted by the imperfection of the flesh. One of them is dressed in stained yet expensive clothes. The other wears a tattered uniform of the local guards. Your Celestial Highness, behold two loathsome heretics who blemish the very face of Tessera with their existence. So you're just burning them for looks. To do a chuckles, but his sneer is completely devoid of mirth. The degree of the guilty may vary, but they both deserve to enter the blazing bowels of the Phasmophorius for the worst of their transgression, distorting the sacred face of humanity. Just by the looks. You have a scratch on your face, or you have a bigger thumb than anyone else. Burn. But since fate has graced us with such lofty visitors, I eagerly cede the right to punish these miscreants to you, your Celestial Highness. Contrary to his one-eyed words, the executioner's voice betrays his poorly concealed displeasure. Cassia purses her lips when she noticed the onlookers staring at her hands, eyes and neck. Many point their fingers shamelessly in her direction. Others spit at their feet in disgust. Her chin raised high. The Lady Navigator adjusts her forehead adornment with her clawed hands. She squares her shoulders. lets out a breath, and glares at the crowd with condensation. Good for you. At the sight of a Xenos in your company, the masked courtiers begin to gasp and murmur. In the glint of the eyes and the curl of the lips lies only fearful disgust. The lives are poisoned by fear and hatred. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The words and thoughts drip with venom. Yet the monkey chooses to hide behind masks rather than change anything. Like always. Get on with the execution to do, my time is precious. This is the heretical option. What do you mean by degree of the guilty may vary? The dwarf fixes you with a fanatical stare. One of them, despite being one of the highest lords of Tessera, spat on our world's customs by refusing to alter his destiny. The other did change his fate, even though he was just a lowborn wallowing in the mud. What in the Lex's name did I just hear? Solomon raises his voice slightly, indicating that the usually impassive arbitrator is profoundly indigent. I normally have no trouble passing judgment, but in this case, I do not even know where to start. What was the opulently dressed mutant crime? Rotten stain upon the noble families. He was hiding in his armor, in his manner, to conceal his deformities, but had trouble keeping his mouth shut. He spread corruption among the minds of courtiers, cast aspersions on the traditions of the world, whose insolence swore profanely. Luckily, he has no heirs, and today his accursed bloodline shall be put to rest once and for all. The richly garbed mutant moans something. You notice stitches on his disfigured face. The zealous servants were evidently in a hurry to silence the condemned man early and sewed his twisted mouth shut. Cruelty to someone's mouth shut. Take those stitches out immediately. Eager to please you, Tadua carries out the order, but his work is far from gentle. The condemned man groans and chokes in pain as the executioner pulls the threads from his flesh. Thank you. With his mouth oozing blood, the mutant is unlikely to say much more. What did the mutant in God's uniform do? A thief, brigand, and a murderer. There is no way to list all the crimes lying upon this freak's conscience. However, his willingness to change his destiny against all odds merits this mutant at least some honor. Despite his feeble-mindedness and simplicity, he had enough sense to obscure his countenance with hoods and helmets until he made his way from beggar to guard. It was not long before his excessive passion for fighting and stabbing gave him away. The mutant utters a foul curse under his breath, then immediately gives you a frightened look and falls silent. The mere sight of the Celestial Lord seems to instill a reverent awe in the common denizens of Tessera, despite the vicious acts he has committed. What do you say, Maeve? Which of these two deserve to die? I'm ready to announce my decision. What makes you think I want to involve myself in your petty affairs, burn them and be quick about it? You promise? Praise the lowborn mutant. They are both mutants and have daringly violated his law. Yet when one finds a spark of nobility in an abject commoner, one cannot help but feel a grain of respect for them. This heretic may be of low birth, but he does not flout the values of Tessera, the way the nobleman does, and thus honors our traditions and his will. Born into the rabble, he applied all his abilities and skills, defied the restraints placed upon him, and crushed those who stood in his path, all in order to forge a new destiny for himself. Forge a new destiny? Solomon repeats slowly, with an undertone of utter disbelief at what he is hearing. Even you, a degenerate, should know that man is bound to serve the God Emperor's plan from birth, and that any attempt to change that is a violation of his will. So what? He was serving the God Emperors by killing innocent people? Huh? Maeve Gaze darts fearfully around while visibly avoiding the doomed mutants on the platform. I am of too low birth to take on the burden of being a judge, my celestial lord. The word of distinguished guest is a law. We are all trembling with anticipation. Maeve seems to have reined in the emotions that were overtaking her, and she casts a timid glance at you as she awaits the verdict. Let them both burn. Let them both go. Let them both go. The excitement in Tedua's eyes fades away. A merciful decision, your celestial highness. Savor the gift of freedom bestowed on us by the holder of the key to all destinies and by his messenger. Begone, you distinguished spawn. Disgusting spawn. I wonder what they will do. Oh, what clamor! Bluff the court fool. I'll wager they heard the sound of the poor slaughterman's heart breaking all the way at the other end of the cellar. And now my favorite word, next. A pale bony creature, barely able to move its legs, enters the stage. In place of a mask, it turns a horrific medley of features toward the world. This ugliness, however, is nothing like that of the previous convicts. The thin, squeamishly twisted mouth is fused to the cheekbones. Malicious eyes peer into the crowd from under hideous folds of skin. The face of this heretic appears to have melted and congealed. What happened to his face? Is he a mutant? Tessarian fever. Tessarian fever. You need not worry, your celestial highness. It is not contagious. Really? The executioner does not answer right away, but makes you wait for a moment. His crime is more grievous than any of this scaffold has ever seen. He was granted a new destiny, but chose to defy it. He turned away the greatest gift that can be offered to the loyal sons and daughters of Tessera. The wretched man's gaze drifts the crowd until his piercing eyes meets yours. His head twitches, his face contorting in a monstrous grimace. Shut up before it gets in. Oh, he whispers in a sudden frenzy. I won't give up, I won't give up, I won't... Oh, no. We didn't come here you to stay quiet. Squeal now and squeal louder. Yeah, where is he? The crowd takes up the fool's outburst and begins demanding more screams. You glance at the crowd and suddenly see the fool, prancing and flitting among the gawkers, clearly trying not to be spotted by you. It is time to teach the gathering a lesson. I thought of better entertainment. Forget the execution. However, whoever brings me the fool will receive the honor of kissing the Celestial Lord's signet. You need to hide yourself so carefully. I am not one to punish a born fool. Without uttering a word, the arbitrator draws his weapon. A shot rings out, and a deafening shriek rises from the throng of people. You catch sight of the badly wounded fool disappearing into the crowd. Maeve cries out in horror and immediately clasps her mouth with both hands.